Okay,
Disney.
thanks.
It's just not how it worked out for me. Let me tell you what it used to be like, what happened, and what it's like now. And it was gritty, you know. So I'm a writer. I think I've always known I was a writer from a young age on. I published 4 books in adulthood, but I'm just going to share a couple quick poems with you to kind of set the stage, that kind of give you an idea. So, Birth of a Poet. One of my earliest memories are of afternoons in the backyard, standing on a wrought iron chair that was painted lime green. My creativity was feral. The paint was peeling and the sun beat down upon me. I was 5 years old and in the genesis of my writing career. Below my chair was a plastic swimming pool filled with water. I sang Leaving on a Jet Plane. I understood pathos, plot, and melancholia. In my mind, I was a man leaving a woman. I jumped into the pool. I could smell loneliness and understand the descent, the separation, the sadness. And in my little life and in my big heart, under the hot July sun, the poet was born. And that kind of set the stage. I always looked real deeply into things, felt real deeply, and from a young age on, whenever I felt pain, I didn't like it. And I wanted to escape it, and I wanted to kill it. So as soon as I found alcohol and drugs and women, anything, I've heard it said, I think it was by maybe Charles Spurgeon, God's the great hound of heaven, that, you know, he just pursues us and pursues us. And also that we have a God-shaped hole in our heart, and we try everything to fill it with other things, and that's exactly what I did my whole life. Drinking took me down about as far as any human being could go down. I had a wife, I had 2 kids, but I had that loneliness because I didn't have God in my life, so I tried to fill it, and I had affairs. I'll just be transparent, keep it real, because I had affairs, and I moved another woman into our house with me and my wife, and then it was me, my wife, and the other woman. She got pregnant. We had 2 children. I knew what I was doing was wrong with the other woman, but I also knew I needed to be a father. I ended up separating with the woman, during custody, trying to pursue my marriage, but by then my alcoholism and drug addiction and cheating pretty much ruined it. So we got divorced, and I ended up, my drinking took me to the streets. I lived on the streets. I stole vodka every day. I drank from morning to night to just kill the pain. I felt horrendous about not having my wife and kids. And I drank like crazy. I went to the hospital, I don't know, over 100 times, I'm sure, detox. As the years went by, it started getting terrible. I had withdrawal seizures when I tried to stop drinking, and I'd fall and get violently ill, and just, so physically I had to have it, so I'd steal it, I'd do whatever I could to get it, lived under the bridges, but I'd still pray, I had no problem ever believing that there was a God, but it took a long time for me to turn my life over to him. And psych wards, hospitals, jail, prison eventually for my drinking. They got rid of the law. Public intox, third and subsequent, became enhanced with a 2-year sentence. So I got one of those, went to prison, got out, drank the first day out of prison, and went right back to the streets. By then I had 2 more kids, and seeing them off and on, not being the father that God wanted me to be, that's for sure. That's what it used to be like. I mean, it was terrible. It was just treatment many, many, many times. And along the way, you know, I would pick up tools. I would know things that I needed to do. I got introduced to AA and in the Journey Celebrate Recovery, and the steps and sponsorship and meetings. So little things along the way I knew I needed to do, but the drinking really had a hold of me. Sin really had a hold of me. It was killing me. I watched many, many friends die. I mean, one winter, it seemed like there was one dying every week. One walked out in front of a truck, got hit, killed. Another one, we were sitting behind all these drinking vodkas, singing Pink Floyd songs. He just turns gray, falls over. I do CPR. He doesn't pull through, he dies. Some drowned, some OD'd, some fell, hit their head, their occipital bone, died. Just right and left. And I should not be standing here. It's only by the grace of God that I'm alive. There's nothing that I did that should keep me standing here, get me standing here, get me sober. And man, he did so many things. I am so grateful, so blessed. So the years went on of drunkenness, drug addiction, debauchery, just horrendous living. And a few years ago, I went to the psych ward and I met a woman in the psych ward. Here's some advice, don't be with men. Psych ward, they do relationships. She happened to be married too. I was just up to my old crap, and I cared very deeply for her. We tried to get sober together, it didn't work. She's dead now, she died a couple months ago. But at her house, one night, we were both drunk, and it was nearing the end of the relationship. I knew I had to do something different. I was praying, and it was terrible. I went to the hospital, I walked to the hospital, and I got in, they admitted me. I'd been there several times, but they admitted me. In the 12-day process, I had 2 withdrawal seizures. One of them I fell and hit my head, and Toad called me while I was in the hospital. I think he was in Tennessee, but I was asking him where the booze was. I was totally out of it. Jason was there, yeah, Jason was in the hospital. But I've been sober ever since I walked in the hospital. I went to Prairie Ridge after that, and then from Prairie Ridge, I went to the Josiah House, the Men's Christian Sober Living House here in Clear Lake, where I reacquainted with Keith, and then I met Rob and Chris, and that began the journey of complete surrender for me and obedience. I knew that God wanted me to do things different. Yeshua changed my heart. He taught me how to love. He taught me how to stay sober. Bottom line, I could not have stayed sober. I tried over the years, and my best efforts netted nothing. A month here, a month there. I've been sober over 2 years now. It's a complete miracle. It's all because of him. And that melancholiness, that loneliness, that hole was filled with God, and he changed my life. And I have a relationship. I have a 7-year-old daughter also, and I talk to her every day. I help her with homeschool. She's all excited about Valentine's Day, so all day I've been sending little hearts and stuff. I get along with her mom. We can talk and communicate. That was a long road, and she's a alcohol and drug counselor, ironically, and has her master's, and she's working on her PhD. We're not in a relationship anymore, but we can communicate. And there was a time where that just absolutely was possible. And man, I want to be, every day, I want to be the man that he wants me to be, and I love him, and I see that it's about surrender and obedience and willingness to his plan, and man, it's just been an amazing journey. So now, sober almost over 2 years, living with my brother, he's been through so much stuff. He didn't even touch on some of it, but I published, this is my latest book, Seedy Town Blues Collected Poems. It's I'm promoting it and marketing it online. I talk to people all over the world, and ironically, people will read my book, and it's gritty. It uses some words, and there's some situations, because that was a part of my life. It's not a part of my life anymore, but people will reach out, and I'll talk to them, and they're in recovery, and they ask about recovery, and they ask about the writing journey in recovery, and it's amazing. It's all come full circle, and it's only through God. And I'm truly blessed to be here, blessed to celebrate recovery. I go to AA also. I do whatever it takes. whatever it takes. I try to give back because so much has been given to me. So we have friends, we have parties over the house, Super Bowl party, or just no booze, but just get-togethers. And God's taught me how to love people and to care about people and how to be obedient and do the hard things. I think that other poem is just about sadness. But like I said, that hole in the heart is filled with a living, vital, real relationship with God the Father and the Son. And it changed my life. And I'm very grateful for all the friends I have and for this place. And thank you.